everybody, and thank you for spending some time. Sorry about the late start. We just were seeing people log on and wanted to give them a couple of seconds to get on. We'll kick it off. I don't want to make it too long. I just wanted, I guess, this is our first webinar for a good 2.5 months, and I'm sure everybody has been in lockdown, trying to deal with the situation, the COVID situation, adapt their businesses, adapt their life around all the restrictions. And I just wanted to give a quick update of some of the things we've learned. We want to just, collaborate as an ecosystem of manufacture, an ecosystem of ourselves, an ecosystem of our staff, an ecosystem of our customers, an ecosystem of our users. I think if we all collaborate and we all look to share as much as we can, it'll mean that potentially through this whole catastrophe or pandemic, we can all come out with a few bruises and see that there is an end and another side to it. But I guess if we all don't talk and work together, some of us are going to be badly beaten, and some of us are going to be okay. And the idea is to share the pain and work together. I guess just highlights what this period has taught us. I think it's important that we keep a strong brand and strong brand position. I think it has assisted us, and hopefully it's assisted our partners in this 6 or 7 week period. I think it's essential that we keep a great relationship together with you, our partners, and we hope you have. We certainly have increased our intensity on that relationship. Small things like if we don't have a product in stock, you got an email. Now I'm insisting our sales team call. They call, they offer an alternate product which they can deliver immediately. They offer product from another location, and then they inform verbally. They inform via a phone call when we will be getting our stock, so we can help you and understand, that you're not going to run out of stock and that we are helping as much as we can. And we hope you're doing that, and we hope you measure us to task. I'm certainly very interested, as is Argus and his team, to understand when that's not happening, because we feel it was very, very important in raising our level of customer service and becoming a lot closer to you, our market. Another thing is the debt situation and the money that we owe, everybody's cash flow. We really want to work with everybody to make sure, as I said, we're all bruised a little. We're here to be spoken to, we're here to talk to, and we hope that we've reached out to you and haven't felt like we've been heavy-handed. We obviously were nervous about cash flows. Obviously, 6 or 7 weeks ago, weren't aware of where the market was going, so we had to be very careful of our own cash flow. But at all times, I certainly hope that we came across as, let's work together. If you have issues, raise them. Let us try and work with them. If you have issues, let's try and work plans so that we keep continuing supplying, but we're also feeding our system with the cash that we require to run our business. And I hope that is the attitude that came across. If it's not, again, all of our teams certainly want to understand it. It wasn't intended any other way. We're just working through that situation. It was important in this period to really be agile and really proactive in looking at what new markets exist. I think all of our businesses should have reduced by 50–60%, but they didn't. I think that some people experienced 30% down, 40% down, 50% down. It certainly could have been worse. And unfortunately in New Zealand, with higher levels of restrictions, it was much worse. And now it's starting to ease with level 3 restrictions coming out of those very intense level 4 restrictions. So I think we should have been down more, but because of really pushing a brand, pushing a philosophy, and reaching out to new markets, I hope that we made the downturn slightly less down. Again, like I mentioned in the 2 points above, we really want to listen to where we're hurting you, or if we're hurting you, or where we're not assisting you, whether it be a payment and payment plans, whether it be running out of stock, whatever it may be. We want to hear about it to understand what pain points we're creating. And I'll talk about the out of stocks a little bit later. Staying connected is exactly what we've discussed. We really want to stay connected and make sure everybody's talking to everybody in our ecosystem. Tightly controlling inventory levels and supply. Look, there are certain items through this period that we've got about 70 years supply on current levels of demand. You want a straw? We've got 14 billion. You want some cups? We've got 60 trillion. You want a takeaway container? We're in trouble. So we had instances, for example, BioBoard snack boxes and Bagus clamshells, takeaway containers, HL91s, DHL 81s and 83s, HL 96s, the BioBoard snack box, medium, large, family box, dinner box. We would sell, I'll give an example, family boxes, we sold about 2,000 cartons a month across the country. We sold 4,500 in 4 days. Now, we have no system regulating No one new can buy from us. That is for sure, because we blacklisted those items from any new participating customers. We didn't want new customers. We are very aware that all our competition put prices up quite sizably, some ridiculously 15, 20, 30%, some, I guess, if you like, more measured 10%. And our view was hold our prices. We're not going to look at profitability. It's certainly not a pretty picture. It's not the time to put increases on our customer base. It's not time to put increases on the users because everybody is hurting. So as long as cash flows are strong in our business and we are getting paid from our customers, we are prepared to make losses until hopefully, the dollar returns to where it should be, because the dollar has been unfortunately decimated and is starting to make a little bit of a return. So we weren't putting up prices. And so when you came to us, I had one example. I emailed one of our close partners yesterday. They bought 40 cutlery packs. Cutlery packs are supposed to lose cutlery per month, 30 cartons. They bought 600 cartons in a period, and then also want to know why we're out of stock. So there has been an onslaught on certain items, and I'm more than happy to go through those items in more detail if I'm contacted. We've tried very hard. We have raced with production. Snackbox Large was monstrous. Okay, we landed 2,000 cartons in the last couple of days and released all our back orders. Okay, we sold 4 times or 3 times our normal demand, which means all those buffer stocks that we say we always have buffer stock, we'll never run out of stock. There should be a disclaimer there, unless there's a pandemic, because we will run out of stock. So we were trying, and we are building up those stock levels, and each day we're finding more support for different items and trying our hardest to keep up with it. So it's not intentional. You will find that those stock outs are definitely on ranges where even if you look at your own records, your sales have gone ballistic and your purchase from us have gone ballistic, and unfortunately we didn't have that crystal ball. So what we're finding out there is there's certain areas where there is real growth in use, which probably didn't exist before. And one of those examples is self-serve or pre-packed products. We've seen, an item for sort of production facilities, or call it mine sites, or there's areas where they haven't been using single-use packaging before. Okay, and so we're finding that there's a growth in these meal delivery services. There's a growth in people using grab and go because of health issues or restrictions or COVID restrictions, and we find that this probably will stay for some time to come. So we really are encouraging our partners to go out to their customer base and acknowledge that there is going to be an additional use in many instances. I've got more examples in the further pages, but there's going to be many instances where people are going to increase their use of sustainable packaging, and there's going to be negative connotations associated to that because of the increased use of disposable versus reusables. But there is a health requirement, and the way to offset that, the way to ensure that it's not damaging the environment, is to use plant-based packaging. So all this new demand, when they're going out and looking for solutions, plant-based packaging, compost collection services, compostable solutions, low carbon footprint solutions, that is a way of ensuring this increased demand is not damaging on the environment. There are many new participants to our takeaway environment, and that is fine dining and hotels. So you got hotels. First of all, there was a COVID period, okay, and that COVID period had everyone in quarantine. I just want to refer that back. If you look at the bottom of this presentation, you'll see there's a download where we can go out. That was about production facilities and mines and self-service packaging, where there's been massive demand. Remember, they were using reusables, where they had big bay marine areas and they dish up into those reusables. They cannot have those people in a mess hall or a kitchen or a dining situation, because there's hundreds of them. They've got to pre-pack their meals and deliver it, hence the use for sustainable packaging. And we've got great download in that particular page when you receive this presentation of really some, what we've done in the field. I'll load it quickly. When I say quickly, as quick as I can. Did that drop everybody? No. Very quickly, but not so quickly after all. Okay, the download is there, and I'll get back to it. It just really shows we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures of people using our packaging and what that would be like for anyone who wants to start using our packaging. It might give them ideas. It might give them some inspiration of how to pack their meals. But we've got a document you can send people new to takeaways or new to disposable packaging, and give them some ideas. And we can give more on request with the greatest of pleasure. Okay, I'm going to go back into my presentation. Lala will tell me how to put this in full screen. Okay. So then there was the same thing goes around fine dining, where there were a few that wanted Deliveroo, and we won't talk about the competition because they don't support our product. But there were a few on the home delivery system, but there are lots more. These people that had their restaurants closed and are now only allowed 10 people. They've put onto home delivery their fine dining menus at $60 a meal or $50 a meal, and they're looking for solutions. And I encourage you to go out to these fine dining restaurants and propose solutions, because they will want sustainable solutions. It suits their brand, it suits the level of meal that they're serving, it suits probably their ethic in fine dining. And I'm not saying fast moving consumer is an issue, is not looking for sustainable solutions, but these guys certainly have that extra 5 or 10% to pay for compostable solutions. And we found some success in that arena. In fine dining, specifically hotels, people will start staying in hotels. Obviously the quarantine is over, where they had to deliver room service to people because no one was allowed out of their rooms. But again, many people will start going to hotels and won't be able to potentially go out to restaurants, or even the hotel restaurants, with a limit of 10 and maybe up to 20 people. And so room service will become quite prevalent, and therefore they'll look for solutions in providing a room service meal in a disposable. And we've provided specific catalogs. Again, on this page, you'll see there's a whole takeaway catalog, which leaves out all the items that are not relevant to takeaway solutions, okay, in our full catalog. And it's quite zoned in on takeaway solutions. There's also, we created a hotel catalog, because they're going to get these 20-page documents on what should I put my breakfast in. We are quite succinct in that proposal. Here's your breakfast, you can put it in A, B, or C. Here's your lunch, you can put it in A or B. Here's your dinner, you can put it in A, B, or C. When they're looking at 50-page brochures and they get your one-page brochure saying, that makes sense, it really, I think, will help accelerate you into that sale opportunity than a very complex, these are the 50 takeaway containers we have. There's a lot of back to work now, and back to work again would use potentially reusables, and then looking for disposables. Again, it's really, really important we promote that. This won't be impactful on the environment if we use the correct product. It's about using disposable product, and it's about promoting compost collection, because then the impact is zero. There's a zero carbon impact on that supply. So it's about supporting the product to these office environments, and we have an office flyer as well that we've attached to this page. And it's about saying, yes, there's additional disposable packaging being used as opposed to be reusable, but it is environmentally responsible because it is compostable, it is plant-based, it is carbon zero, and we can provide a collection service to collect that packaging and your food waste. I think food chains, what we found in the last 60 days, they're really looking to say we need to look sustainable more than ever. So people think there might have been a drop-off in sustainable packaging because of cost, because of looking to minimize costs, and that's certainly some feedback I've got from some journalists, and we've shown them proof that is different. The journalists we found went to 1 or 2 places and thought, oh, I've got to save money. If they contact us and other sustainable packaging suppliers, they would see that actually, although our markets are substantially down, more and more people, specifically the QSR, are looking to use sustainable solutions. And that intensity picked up in COVID. We had one large chain came to us and said they want Bagas. And I told them that our new bowls, which I'll get onto, is probably a better solution. And they said, no, it doesn't look like an environmental solution. We're talking about millions of containers a year. And they want their customers to know when they look at a product, okay, and they reference one of our customer products, Guzman and Gomez, everyone knows that Guzman takeaway clamshell is a sustainable product. Now, we've got bowls that are equally as sustainable, but it doesn't look as sustainable. So we encourage you, if you have QSR customers, to show them our sugarcane range, to show them we've got documents that have got 50, 60 custom made sugarcane pulp. We can shape anything you require. But if they want an item to look like a sustainable solution and also be a sustainable solution, we can industrial design together with our team the right product for them, providing that the quantity is there, and they will look sustainable, because that they're actually looking for the aesthetics as opposed to really just the environmental side. Again, we've got a QSR proposal. It shows each of our products in the sugarcane pulp range. It shows different shapes and sizes. But these are trends. All of the above mentioned slides and this one, we have been, okay, business, yes. I mean, it's BioPak, and I'll get on to it. We experienced a 35% downturn in the month of April, and we're not talking about down anymore. Although we were 35% down in April, we look at April as our base now. We finished feeling sorry for ourselves. We now say this is where we are. and we're going to build. And we are finding an increase in May. We feel that May has sort of kicked up around 10% higher than April, and so it's looking positive. But the intensity of demand in these slides that I've given you, it's not just a sales spiel or a slide saying, hey, we want you to look out. There is intensive demand in these fields, in mines, in high-end restaurants, in QSR. We have been contacted by 3 of the top 5 major brands to look for sustainable options. They know that there's going to be an uptick in sustainable packaging, and they know they're going to be under pressure to provide sustainable solutions, and they are really building the intensity in providing those solutions in a more sustainable product. And so if you have any customers in this field and you approach them with some of our presentations, even with some of the knowledge, if you want to get into our sales guys' heads, we believe this will translate into new business. Essential services, okay, again, we're looking at solutions, for example, healthcare. If you look at that tray, there's a pill little cup, there's a denture cup, there's that kidney tray, is used in hospitals. That everybody's looking for closed loop solutions, and the COVID period has elevated this. Now, we don't have great healthcare or hospital or those type of aged care customer base, but I'm pretty sure you guys do. And looking for solutions, sustainable solution, has kicked up a level. Again, in some instances, they were using those metal trays or maybe a reusable pill box, pill cup, and there's been an added push to make sure that they upgrade that health aspect and not use the reusables. And using more disposables is very negative on the environment. It's very negative on greenhouse gas emissions. It's very negative on resources being used once in a linear type economy. Okay, but our solution specifically for healthcare, aged care, and hospitals, we can collect the waste and we can provide them with this carbon neutral Australian certified compost solution. Again, we have a brochure, shows some of the ideas that we've come up to promote that industry. In any of these examples above, if you have someone using unsustainable, using reusables and want to say, well, what is my impact on the environment if I use disposables? Or if they're using plastic, send us an email saying, here's what they're using, here's the quantity, here's the product. We'll give you an instant impact statement to show them that the impact they are making on the environment is negated by using our solutions. Before COVID, okay, again, I'm going to push this. We had real good success. If you go into any Woolworths, you'll see their new tomato punnets from one of their major suppliers. I can't really say the name, we're not allowed to, but one of their major suppliers have used a punnet. And so the punnet, you can see, you can heat seal it. We can design it so that it's got the holes at the bottom, which is needed for tomato and fruit punnets. We can shape it in the shape of an avocado. It's just various. We need to think outside the box for solutions, and it might not be, I'm just listing this, it might not be a fruit solution. It might be a different type solution, but this just shows you what's possible and what we can create. We are finalizing a more extensive retail offering because we know you've all got smaller customers that might have some small shop front or big shop front. And sometimes they have the ability of putting a box of 1,000 9-inch plates in sleeves of 125, and sometimes they don't. And so we're creating this retail offering, which I encourage you to look at, and look at the build of the range that we're doing over the next 3-4 months. We're making the boxes smaller, so a maximum of 23 centimeters. It will fit on most shelves. We're making the pack sizes reasonable for that more retail type experience. People may not want to buy 50 plates or 125 plates. They might not want to buy a bag of 1,000 forks or even 100 forks. They might want, so it's 10 forks. We're doing a wooden cutlery range. We're doing a cup range, a cup and lid range. We're doing obviously the plates 7, 9, and your large oval plates and bowls. We're doing a small napkin range. So there's a full comprehensive retail range for those type of environments. It's not your typical user. It's not your user when it comes to your typical restaurant or stadium or hospital or mine site or airport type retail service. Whatever it is, it's not that typical customer, but your customers or you may have people that have that retail front, and this is the range developed for that. So I think what we did as a team over here, and I hope our team have the same opinion that I do, is that we took this time to just get closer to our systems and just understand our business better. We took the time to hopefully work closely with you guys, and we hope you did. It's very difficult we were under extreme pressure. We had 400 containers on the water and demand for about 20. So we really took 2-3 weeks to slow that down. We worked very closely with our manufacturer side of our business offshore to hold production. It was difficult on everybody, and that consumed a lot of our time. We took a lot of time to work with customers on payment and work through it with them. And so where we should have been is talking to you about your product demands and talking to you about products we don't have. And our sales team picked up from 30 calls a day. They went up to 150, 200 calls a day, which we will continue to maintain, talking to you of every time we don't have a product in stock. It shouldn't be often. Right now on certain products, it is often, because the demand has just smashed us straight out the park. So we've redesigned our systems to increase our customer service, and we hope that you're feeling that increased customer service. And if you're not, we really want to know about it. We're really looking to improve. We have an amazing team over here. Argus on internal sales has done a remarkable job with his team, and his team have done an amazing job, whether you deal with Funda or Sarah or Hope or Angela or other Sarah or any one of our offshore team. We really are trying to lift the game in being very close to you on an instant basis in your requirements. And where you feel we should improve, we want to know, because we want to make sure whatever it is that we implement a system to become closer and make our systems more custom to your requirements. One of the things that we've done, and I wanted to share, and the document is available on this download, is we've got to check time. We put a document together for alternates because it's required in this crazy time. So I'll give you an example. We might get an order for an HL96, okay, in white. Previously you got an email saying to us, we're out of stock of HL96s. We'll get them in on the 21st of May. Have a nice day. Electronic data transfer and CRM and all these fancy systems are fantastic, but they're not the same as personal touch, and we want to reintroduce that personal touch. We've had it, we want to up the ballpark. So what we're doing is we're phoning you and say, we don't have this until the 27th of May, but this is the brown one, we've got the white one. If that's not good enough, or that doesn't suit your purpose, it actually is an extremely similar size, if this would open, to our BioBoard product, okay? And we've done some portion control in that alternate document. We've looked at portion control to make sure it's similar. It's also pretty similar if you're just using the base as our 750 ml container. So we've got a list of alternates for each item. And you shouldn't need it when we have regular demand. You shouldn't need it when we have increased our stock holding to cater for the new exceptional demand, but it's there. You've got this item on back order. We've got alternates that will suit if that's something you can accept. If not, no problem. We can either ship it from an alternate warehouse, or we can put on back order in the current state that we're in. And we want to work through that with you in order to give you a solution almost on the day that you order the product, as opposed to an email, which is, hey, we don't have the product in stock. We're working on that alternate product list. It's a work in progress. It's pretty good, but we'll send out updates to it. So quickly on new products, as a favor to our manufacturers of our napkins who were dead, we brought in some toilet paper. And we wanted to help them, and there was obviously a shortage of demand here. Might have been opportunistic to get that in, but the response we got when we put out our EDM, our email, was monstrous. And we know that there's probably a 5 or 6% price increase, decrease needed to be super competitive. So we plan on using a recycled FSC certified. Now most people use FSC certified. We are looking to produce it out of consumer recycled waste, not industrial recycled waste. And we're looking to put a wrap on it. And we're going to put environmental messaging on that wrap, make it a bit funky, and continually change the messaging on the wrap. So it's got a purpose. It's got a purpose of education. Obviously, it's sustainably sourced. And we're looking to really ramp that up. And I guess in the next 6 to 8 weeks, you'll see that starting to come out. The different type of messaging, what the different type of products we've got. Right now, it's one roll of 400 sheets, a 14 GSM 2-ply, but we will cater. There's 3 or 4 standard range of toilet paper out there, and we will increase the range to cover that. But that's an upcoming product. Just one type is available now. We released our bowls. Our bowls are different. Our board is FSC. There is no other FSC board out there sourced from bowls. It's lined with PLAs. It's a plant-based solution, and it's compostable. So there's really, Dallas helping me. There's really, it's not. It looks the same, but it's not the same. We put some branding on it, very subtle branding on it, so people know that it is compostable. excuse me, so people know, that it is carbon neutral, so people know that it is a sustainable offer to what's available out there. And as far as I'm told, because I don't look at plastic lined board, it is extremely competitive with the plastic lined alternates out there. We will be introducing, the lid was to get it to market is a PET lid. We will be introducing a CPLA lid. So not a PLA lid, which is non-heat stable, a CPLA lid, which is heat stable. It'll be slightly opaque as our normal CPLA lids are, for example, for our coffee cups and our soup bowls, but it will be heat stable. So you can put steamy meals in that product and the CPLA will handle it. And that we're looking to introduce in around 1 to 2 months. The next product is we've got a range of, thank you, Lala, ice cream bowls, which people have asked us for about 100 years. Again, it does have very small, subtle branding on it. And again, it's PLA lined, it's FSC board. So it is a step up from what it's available out there. I don't believe there's an FSC board ice cream bowl out there, and certainly not PLA and FSC. So we try to raise the sustainable game and produce a range of ice cream bowls. Hopefully our ice cream shops open in December, and there is some trade in that side of the industry, which has been completely had the legs cut off from them. We've got a 4-compartment tray, not a typical sort of bento box 4-compartment tray that we've launched. It's a big 4-compartment tray. To be honest, we launched it because we had some Mexican clients that are looking to do home deliveries where they put some fajitas or wraps together with the contents and do some home delivery. So it's allowed us to enter that market with that product. Not a massive demand, but you might find somewhere to launch that. We bring in a great range, and this is probably July, a great range of new products. When you look at our sugarcane pulp range, you look at the 750 and 1 litre, and people can't put a piece of steak and maybe some potatoes or vegetables on the side. So we needed a wider product, and that's exactly what we created. A wider product for different type of food delivery, and we've got 2. So it's just different depths, okay, which allow a different range. Another thing is we've got our square, our 280, 480, and 630 square containers. Again, sort of suited for a deli type environment, but not really suited for a larger meal environment. 630 is typical, for example, salad size, but you can't put 3 salads in there because they can't sit on top of each other. It doesn't present well. So again, we made a square range, 2 different sizes, 1 lid, and it's a wider base. Our normal square would probably, fit in, maybe 2/3 of that. It's just a larger surface area, okay, to serve that product, okay, and the capacities are there. These ones are 500 and 750, but they just serve different meals to what our current product does, and those will be available sometime in July. Bags. So this has taken a long time coming for us to get into bags. We wanted to do SOS bags. We wanted to do the normal sandwich flat bags, and being or wanting to go into everything at once really caused a little bit of procrastination because we want to do it properly. Okay. Besides the COVID rush on products that we never anticipated, the monstrous demand, we're pretty good of having inventory. And launching 500 bags and trying to understand which of the volumes we should have was almost impossible. So we decided to go with a takeaway bag option. We've got the small die-cut handle bag, which is your typical 280 by 270 by 150. We've got 2, and that handles around 5 kilos, or 3 kilos, I should say. We've got 2 flat handle bags, which is slightly bigger than the first one. And again, that handles somewhere between 8 to 9 kilos. And then we've got your paper tire handles or twisted handle bags, which can handle up to 18 kilos. Again, the large twisted handle is similar to like a Deliveroo or an Uber Eats type bag, and obviously the big one. The dimensions are all will be on the website. Those bags, again, we're looking for them to arrive towards the end of June, and we have real amounts of stock. So what have we done with the bag? Again, we've decided to go with post-consumer recycled paper and produce it and have the Forest Steward Council, FSC, certify the board. And that makes our bag different from, I think, almost all bags out there. So we're looking to produce it from sustainable forests, from new growth forests. We're looking for a sustainable solution from recycled craft paper board. Again, there will be subtle branding on it. Some people say it's not so subtle. I think it's subtle. If it was up to me, I would have covered the whole bag. But there will be some subtle branding on it, telling people exactly what it is about FSC certification, about recycled paper bag. That's where we start. I will be producing a matrix. We are looking at minimum quantities of very low. We're looking at 20,000 odd bags or potentially less. I will be producing a price list okay, of these bags and any future bags that we introduced. We will tell you exactly. If we're talking about a small die cut handle bag, we'll say, here's our die cut handle bag, and it's 8 cents a bag. For a print of 10%, it's 9%. It's 9 cents a bag. If you have 10% coverage, 20% coverage, it's X cents. 50% coverage, it's Y cents. 100% coverage, it's Z cents. So instantly you'll be able to quote your customer by guesstimating their print coverage, what the bag would cost them. You don't have to come to us for a quote unless it's a different size, and that will require higher minimum order quantities. But in the products we produce, we'll give you a 10%, 20%, 50%, and 100% in coverage cost, and that is the cost. Some will win, some will lose. We want to make it simple so that you look at a customer, you walk into a customer, you see they're using bags, they're using about 10,000 bags a month. You can look at the coverage and just guesstimate the in coverage. There really is a small difference in all those prices, and instantly give them a cost. We want to simplify it to make it easy for you guys to sell it and order it. So that the product is launching in July. That matrix of prices on these sizes and any future bags for print that we release will be available towards the end of May, or towards, we're already in the middle of May, so let's say towards the end of May. We're also looking at our soup bowls, and with our soup bowls, we really are looking at the hurt that we've caused on PLA. Now, there's certain instances where we can do nothing about the PLA pricing. Well, we can't do anything about the PLA pricing. It's been brutal, and we now in COVID, with reduced demand from everybody, we've pushed NatureWorks and Total Corbion to try and get better pricing, and they have not budged. So they're probably looking at saying we're actually quite happy with 40% of the market, because that's all we could have supported in the first place. So not the best attitude, but they have their reasons why they've stood firm. We still have to provide a product and try and make it as competitive as possible. So if you look at our soup bowls, okay, we're looking to produce a PLA-lined paper lid. So this will be available sometime towards the end of July, possibly August, but hopefully July, where you were buying a CPLA lid. We now will have a paper lid, and really it is equally as functional. Remember the PLA lids you were using, okay, would absolutely, they're opaque, you can't see what's inside, and this clips on just as well. So we're looking to launch these to replace the CPLA lids. We will carry some, and if for any reason you feel like there's a market that will not accept these and want PLA lids, I really love to understand it. But this fits in. If you look at a plastic lid for our soup bowls, and let's say it's at 4 cents, PLA lid is currently at 8 cents. This sits in the 6 cent arena. So we're actually looking for this to even take over from the plastic lids, so we can eradicate those plastic lids and only do a paper lid, which sort of sits in the middle of PLA and the plastic lids that we currently do for our soup bowls. Again, it's a paper, it's a PEFC paper lid with a PLA lining. So it's equally as functional and equally as environmentally beneficial as a CPLA lid, but the cost is substantially less. Those will be, again, at the end of May. These will be in our process and available to quote on. The product will arrive in about July. Again, we put a lot of time and effort and upgrade our partner portal. We're doing a massive revamp. We've taken this time to really look at our website and our partner portal. And we've got an intensive May, June, July to recreate our entire web presence. And it'll be a completely new look, feel, and functionality come August. I know that our IT lead and marketing lead, if you know them, Jan and Adrian, have said September. I'm going to say August. But sometime towards August, September, we will relaunch a much more functional website with a much better user experience, and it's going to include really picking up this partner portal. But I encourage you to look at that partner portal for all our brochures and our brand toolkits and the product images that you might require, sales flyers like we've mentioned. There's a whole database of them on there. It really is. Looking through that for 20 or 30 minutes, or even phoning us for us to navigate you through it, will give you a great resource tool, to understand our products and understands how we're getting some success out. The case studies, probably in industries that you might be able to, that you might be quoting on. Again, we encourage people through our social channels just to, stay connected and tag us and build our movement towards, compostable solutions. We've got something like 12 or 13,000 engaged users. And in the UK, we're building our engaged user database. We've just launched in Europe with an engaged user database. So globally, that database could become 25, 30, 40,000. The more we grow those social channels, the more we let people know what's possible, what solutions are possible, what benefits are possible in an area where they look at disposables and feel that there's, a dead end, the more we grow the industry. That's it. I've got no more down arrows. So my 30 minutes went to 40, which is pretty good for me, as you all know. I hope the people in Perth, let's just see. We gave you, you didn't have to wake up at 6 o'clock this morning. People, they know who I'm talking about in Perth. I hope that Rob organised you a brunch nonetheless, unless you're working from home. But again, thanks very much. This will be available, this presentation, and on every page, as I mentioned, there are PDFs attached to click and download all the brochures I've talked about. So thank you very much for your time, and stay safe, and let us know where we can help you. Thank you.